So the AWS CLI has an official Docker image, so you can execute AWS CLI commands in an isolated container. And the place you're going to find that is in the Docker Hub at Amazon/AWS-CLI. And the way you're going to execute it is you just run the Docker container and supply the command here on the end. When you run this for the first time, and this is just in general how Docker works. When you don't have a container that you're using, it's going to download it once, but then it'll run the command. So here, I'm just putting the version flag, and I'm trying to see what version the CLI is. It's like, hey, you don't have it. Let's go download it, and then it runs it. But again, you're only going to see this the first time you ever run this command for your Docker image. So that's just me pointing that out there. You can use the official Docker container in order to run any kind of CLI command you want. You could do this if you don't want to install Python or you want everything to be an isolate for whatever reason. So there's various reasons as to why, or maybe you are just working in an environment that uses Docker containers. So you just want to know that this functionality exists. So here's an example where we are running the CLI command and we want to do EC2 describe VPCs. But here's some challenges is that we're running everything in an isolated environment. So how are we going to do things like pass credentials or download files in an isolated environment? And well, I actually went ahead and I solved that. So the first is we can pass credentials by specifying a file. So notice here, we're not specifying a file, but we're actually mapping the root volume. So here we're saying, let's get the .aws directory, and we're going to map it to root.aws, and that's going to allow the CLI command to automatically load your credentials files. Okay, so would passing envars work, such as -e Postgres user? They should, but I didn't have a whole lot of luck when trying it out. So, if you want to fiddle around with it and figure it out, you can absolutely do so. But I didn't have much luck. If you want to download files, we can map a volume of the files to download to the current working directory. Again, this is just Docker stuff using this -v, which is the mapping. But again, if you're not that familiar with Docker, just understand that you have that functionality there. But yeah, that is us using the AWS CLI via the Docker image.